the way in which indigenous considered the velada, right? The ritual. Velada is the night ritual. So the whole ritual was thought to undergo in the night because it was the time where they would be able, because it was a time where the mushrooms would be able to shed light into the unknown. And there was the presence, the presence of a curandero was needed because the curandero is the one who's able to connect the worlds. The world, so in the cosmovision of the Mazatecs, the world of here is one, and the world of there is another one. And the world of there, or the world of the soul, right, of the holy soul, is the one in which the work with the mushrooms occurred. The mushrooms not only being sacred, but being children that sprout from earth, were the ones who were able, by the ludic aspect to them, to convey, right, and shed, to convey what the inquiries of the ill were, right, and to take them and amplify them in this other world to be known and to be answered. There were many reasons for people to work with the mushrooms, but it was not them working with the mushrooms. They sometimes needed to take mushrooms, but generally speaking, veladas were small. They didn't have a lot of people. Not only a small portion of relatives could come. Mushrooms had to be picked up from the hands of a child in particular days to maintain the sacredness and the ludic aspect of the mushrooms so that they could work in their own magic, let's put it this way, but I don't like the magic mushroom side of it, but that they could, do their work as it was. And they couldn't be seen. Mushrooms couldn't be seen on their way of having been picked up to the house where the ceremony took place. And the house was a regular house. There were no folklore, so to speak. There were no things. It was a very simple thing where the central aspect to it was the mushrooms and their own work. They didn't have integration. They couldn't talk about the velada because
wow. Interesting.
It is very interesting. It was so sacred. It is so sacred that you couldn't talk about it because the whole ritual lasted around 9 days. So the first days were for preparing, the diet and thoughts and, relationships, and they couldn't, talk to a lot of people. They had to preserve their own energy so that they would be able to go into the work with the mushrooms. And then the intake took place. And then some days following, the soul was still around in the world of the holy soul. So they couldn't just go and talk about it because that was a very sensitive time where things could go wrong. So this is just, an example to understand that what they consider the work with mushrooms has nothing to do with the way in which we are using them